Welcome back to another episode of Podcast with Mark45. Today, we have another guest, and for the first time in our brand new setup, because our first two guests were in the old setup, and we did some evaluating and thought this could use an upgrade. This guest is a little special because I've got a long history with this guy. That sounds kind of bad, but trust me, it's not. This is the guy that actually started my YouTube channel. The very first YouTube video I uploaded was a Battlefront match against you.
Was it?
It was. The first Battlefront 2. It was a clip that I uploaded by accident, and I had no idea that it was uploaded till 2 days later. I started getting comments saying, "This is a fantastic video." I click on my YouTube account, and from there I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube career. And that's how it started. This is Gordon. Or as we used to address him as Gordyla10. This was back in our emo days. We used to address everyone by our gamer tags, and I wish we were a little bit more smart back then. But we'll just call you Gordon for now.
Yeah, that works. Hi. You introduced me already.
I did a vlog with him, which was my very first vlog, and this was in 2017. We were organizing a little marketplace, and then we stayed behind to set up the whole place up. I don't know, I just filmed a little behind-the-scenes vlog of it. And look at him then and look at him now. There you go. You have a great comparison.
2017?
2017,
oh
yeah.
God.
Much has changed over the years. So, yeah, welcome to the show, Gordon.
Thank you. This is pretty interesting. I've never done something like this before. It's pretty crazy to be here and doing stuff like this. So thanks for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to come here.
Absolutely. So, at this point, what are you doing? Where can any of our listeners find you?
Well, currently I'm on a hiatus from streaming, but I usually do streaming and a bit of YouTube and stuff. You can find me just on Twitch, Gordyla10. Probably find my name in the title.
I'm not sure if we're going to put Gordyla10 in the title or just Gordon. We have not decided that yet.
You can put both, or you
sure.
can put my tag.
Put a link in the description.
Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, we'll see. Today we're just kind of laying back, talking a little bit more about gaming. It's a humble route, at least for me. I started YouTube with gaming as well. Now I've stopped. But gaming has always been a small part of the legacy, so I owe it to that to discuss about it a little. And also, these two are gaming experts, kind of. So this is going to be an interesting conversation. He mainly does streaming, so, anytime you see him live, go pop in, say hi, say what's up, give him a follow. I'm giving you free promo here. You're welcome.
Appreciate it, man. I need it.
How about let's start, I guess, when you got the idea that you're going to start streaming. Where did that come from?
Well, I actually started streaming a while ago, but I stopped for a little bit because I had issues with my computer. So I've been streaming on and off for a fairly long amount of time. I played all sorts of games and just kind of I'm slowly rebuilding a community now with a full Discord and everything, and linking everything and actually doing it properly this time. And I hope it'll go well. Yeah, I'm just testing the waters a bit just for fun,
So what are you currently streaming?
I stream all sorts of games, mainly Warframe. That's the main one that I'm playing. But then I've also been dabbling in different sorts of things like MOBAs, first-person shooters. I've played. I'm playing a game called Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West, which is a single-player story game as well. So I'm all over the place.
I have it.
You have it?
Yeah.
Have you finished it yet?
Haven't touched it.
You haven't touched it. Have you played the first one?
No, I have both games. I collect.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I mean, if you have the time, then I'd highly suggest it. It's a very, very beautiful game. The first game is probably my top game of all time. One of my most favorite games I've ever played. I love the gameplay, the storyline, pretty much everything about it. That's how I'm selling it, yeah.
Have you played Breath of the Wild?
I have not. I don't have a Switch, so I haven't touched Breath of the Wild, but I've seen a lot of gameplay of it, mainly the speedruns. They're pretty freaking ridiculous. And it's fairly similar, but the I mean, the art style is obviously different, and the gameplay has like a lot more to it because there's a lot of different types of weapons and a lot of abilities that you can grab. They have like a whole skill tree and everything, so you can kind of like build your character in a different way too. So it's a little different, but it's like the gameplay is pretty similar.
I heard that like if you want to pick up an item in Horizon, it takes a long time or something.
Maybe if you're like looting a body, you'll have to like hold the button and like open up a menu and it'll like have items in it, but you can just press a button to like grab all, and there isn't like, they don't have an inventory space or anything, so you can just keep hoarding. And when you're grabbing like plants and stuff, she'll like bend down to pick it up, but it's pretty fast. So I haven't really had like any issues where I'm like, I hate waiting to pick up this like herb or something.
Because in Breath of the Wild, you can like literally run and pick up stuff, and there's no animation for that picking up.
Yeah, there is an animation in it, so every time you walk by something, you have to like bend over and like pick it up. But like it's not too bad because you'll like start and stop usually, and you kind of like get a bunch of items at some point because they don't have like a cap on inventory space, so you can just keep grabbing and keep grabbing and grabbing more items. It's pretty nice.
Hoarder mentality.
Oh my god, I can't. Every time I play a game, I always hoard everything. It's kind of like a MMO habit.
Do you carry everything on yourself?
It depends on the game, but with Horizon, you have like an inventory cap, and then they have like a stash that kind of like is an infinite inventory space. So for example, if you're picking up like sticks, you'll have like a max of like 500 sticks you can carry, but then every other stick you pick up after that goes into your stash. So I have like a stash of like 2,000 sticks right now in
This
Forbidden.
guy really loves sticks.
Yeah, and I'm constantly picking them up even though my inventory is full, so it just sits in my stash.
So it just automatically goes to your stash.
Yeah, so you can just keep picking up items. So even if your inventory is full, you just can't use it unless you go to your stash. But like the inventory space on your character is so big that it doesn't really matter.
What are you going to do with 2,000 sticks?
Craft a lot of arrows. A lot of arrows.
That's fair. Yeah, it's ammo.
That's about all you do with it, really. There's like a couple other like crafting recipes and stuff, but it's mostly stick. It's mostly arrows, I mean. Yeah.
The internet needed to know that. There
Definitely.
you go.
Yeah. Vital information for the game.
Of course. So over, I guess, what was the very first video game you played? Do you remember? Like the very first game you played, you're like, damn, this is what video games is like?
Oh. I think it's Roblox.
Yeah, it's either that or Minecraft.
Yeah, it was Roblox and then Minecraft, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw a lot of people playing Minecraft, but I started with Roblox first, and it was just Phantom Forces. It was a first-person shooter.
The classic.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
Very classic. I still hop on it from like time to time just to see what's changed because it's a old friend of mine. Been with the game since it was in like a beta, and then I played all the way through until now, pretty much.
That's kind of like me with Clash Royale. I started playing it when it was in its beta stage, and then shortly after game release, things change over time, and up to this day, I still go on every once in a while. A lot has changed now. Like I can't even keep up with everything, the new stuff and all that. There's a new tower card now.
2 new towers.
Yeah, 2 new tower cards. I'm like, what has happened? There's a battle pass and everything, so I'm like, it's a bit overwhelming, but it has a special place in my heart because I started with it.
I remember
a
we
long
played
time.
like together at some point.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we grinded the shit out of it.
Yeah, I had like some other people who were like, "Oh yeah, you should like get the game again and like try it." And I got the game again. I'm like, I look at my old deck. It's just a P.E.K.K.A. and you just push the P.E.K.K.A. and that's it.
I feel like our old meta decks just don't work anymore because there's so many new stuff now. A lot of other stuff has been
That's
reworked.
the thing. The P.E.K.K.A. one still works.
It's exactly that one still stays. I am so glad that that deck P.E.K.K.A. with Bowler and Executioner, that one still
P.E.K.K.A.
remains.
spam it just works and it's beautiful. So like even though the new cards are like confusing as hell, especially with like all the legendary ones that they started adding
You're
in.
talking about the champion cards, right?
Yeah. The champion ones are like, I remember when Sparky was first added to the game.
Oh yeah, Spark. Oh yeah, that was. I think I remember the internet went bonkers at when Healer was announced because they're like she's just gonna be extremely OP, and then
She ended up being useless.
she ended up being really useless, and nobody uses her. Well, actually, I've seen a couple people use them from time to time, but it's not that common.
It's not like a meta card.
Yeah. But with Minecraft, like going back to Minecraft, have you started just playing like multiplayer servers or just
I think I started off in single player. Most people
classic
probably
survival
did. Yeah,
world,
classic
build
survival.
your first
This
dirt
was
house.
like- yeah, this was back in like 1.7, I think. That's when I like first started.
That's-
Pre-combat update.
That's
Very long time ago.
That's
I
like
still miss
ancient
it.
history.
Yeah, very ancient. So I started playing on Java. So I never got to touch like Bedrock and like console and stuff until later. But I started playing on Java 1.7. It was like just vanilla runs.
When did
Dicking
you
around a
start?
bit.
When did you start
I
playing?
don't remember. When I was in let's see. Let me count.
Because I started on Pocket Edition first, and then shortly after I got my first PlayStation 4, and then and then played console.
Pocket Edition first, then I
Yeah.
played the Vita edition.
PS Vita?
Yeah.
PS Vita.
It was on the Vita?
Yes.
I had no idea. What the fuck?
Yeah, that I
Even
did
I didn't
that.
know that. What the?
Yeah, I still have my Vita. Still works. And after that, I went to PC. And then that was around 8 years ago? 8 to 9. So almost like a decade.
I started my Minecraft city 10 years ago, actually. It was 2014 when I started. And that was the first thing I did when I got the console edition for Minecraft. I remember I bought it at Costco, too, of all places. And then after, I was like, I'm going to make a city. Actually, no, I started with a zoo first. You can go back to my
that.
you can go back to my channel discography and you can probably see it. I started doing a zoo first. I don't know why, but this memory is seared into my brain. Building the zoo while listening to Titanium by David Guetta. You're welcome.
Wow, yeah, that really brings me back then. Oh my god, that song was like everywhere.
Yeah. And I remember I was very proud of it because that was like my very first big Minecraft project. And then I'm not sure what prompted me to end up blowing it up. A couple years later, 2018, I think I just came back from New York, and that's when I got the idea, like, let's build a city. And then here we are today. I have not done a video on my Minecraft city since, but I know you've been on it. You two are obviously more recently on it. A lot of people from the past has also been on it. That server has history, and I don't know if you remember anything from that server. It's still up today, but
Yeah, I do actually remember it. I remember like building, and like I'm pretty sure there was like something named after me too. It was like a train line.
there's a
or
whole
something.
SkyTrain line
Yeah.
named after you. I remember now.
That was like probably the main thing I remember from it, and like a lot of the some like parts of the city because I remember like flying around it. So that's about all I remember really.
I think you can still watch. If you go to my main channel, you can still see the videos I did on the Gordyla10 line.
It's still up if you
It's-
search my name.
Yeah, no, if you search up his name, you'll see my Minecraft videos up before his channel, which is pretty funny.
I remember that because I started doing like a little bit of YouTube and I like posted something and I was like, you know what, I'll search my name up to see if I can find my channel, and it was just, all your videos, all of them. And I was like at the bottom of the page and I'm like, hey,
There I
you can
am.
find me eventually.
Eventually, after you go through all the
Yeah.
SkyTrain videos. I haven't changed the name since. I think it's still named after you.
I'm honored.
Yeah. So there you go. A little bit of your legacy is still on the server. It's the one that's underground. I think it's the underground one.
I think so. You have so many
We have three.
things like everywhere.
Yeah, we have three. Well, we have three SkyTrain lines. They've just established their own city, which is a bit sketch. We haven't done a video on it yet. You wanna give a tease on what your city is about?
It's where people
It has the highest crime rate in the whole server.
It has a button that kills everyone on the server.
Wait, you got like a command block or something?
Oh yeah. So much has changed with console Minecraft, because they've merged it with Bedrock now. So we have
true.
Bedrock access to it. So we have structure blocks, command blocks, all that stuff. We have it all.
Oh, because console never had those.
Console never had them before, and most importantly, the biggest feature of merging a Bedrock was you can crossplay with PC people. That's why it was. I think it was a turning point for the game, and it prompted more people to get back on console version of the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for that was that you could only crossplay with PC players who were also on Bedrock.
Yeah, no, PC people had to be on Bedrock to be able to play on it. And another thing I wish they can I wish they can figure it out. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. Is if you created a world on the console, you can't play it on PC because you can link your accounts. You can get Bedrock on your PC, but you won't be able to access your server because you created on console, which I think that definitely needs to be reworked. Just so you can actually play on your PC. I don't want to go downstairs to my console all the time.
I've heard there might be a way to like transfer it over.
There is.
It's
editor bleep his name. Figure out a way to do that.
Yeah. You have to use like third-party software probably, but you'd have to have the world probably on like an SD card or something.
What do you do? Like,
So I got the file, found the file, sent it over to him. He transferred it. He turned it into Java edition, but all the entities disappeared. So we just put back the entities.
so all our animals and the villagers we had gone.
Yeah, I think it's because Java and Bedrock label their things differently because Java has more stuff, and also I think they built the games differently. It's almost like two separate versions of the game because like if you go on the wiki, there's like,
I think the redstone mechanics is also different.
very slightly. It's usually the more niche things. Like redstone usually just works like redstone normally, but if you were to go into like the more niche things, there's a lot of stuff on Java that isn't available on Bedrock because they just built the system slightly differently.
Maybe it's just me, but after I sold my PS4 and got a PS5, that was a big upgrade because back then the server, I was hosting it on my old PS4, first generation by the way. It was slow as a grandpa, and it kept lagging all the time.
I think honestly that's probably the Gen 1 PS4 poverty talking.
Yeah.
Maybe like when you upgraded to the PS5 it was like, I can finally game in 120 FPS.
No, here's the thing. When I upgraded to the PS5 and I got the server back, I wasn't used to fast loading time. So I clicked on the server and I'm instantly in. I'm like, this is like a pinnacle moment for me.
You can't go back after.
You
after
can't
you
go back
experience
after,
it. It's
yeah.
just, yeah.
I'm like flying around and not everything's loading in time. I don't need to sit there and wait for the chunks to load. Like, it was a revolution for me. And best of all, when cross players go on, like they play on PC, when they go on, back then it would get so laggy, and then one little slip up, the server crashes. Now the server still crashes just because of its age, but it's not as often. That I can't fix. Also, we have a quarantine zone in the city. There's a very glitchy part in the city that if you go near it, the server just completely dies.
Damn.
What
was in there?
It's the map room, and I think it's due to the 10,000 item frames inside.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the map room because item frames, they like render the actual map, right? So that's probably what it is, right? Because I remember your map room, you had like the entire city in like a giant map on the wall, right?
My city, Nate's city, I don't know if you remember him, and then it was also Vic City and a couple other ones. And there was also a Japanese village that was on that map as well.
I remember you had like all the skytrain lines and everything. Like it was like a full map that was like,
it was really tacky,
on there.
Except now that I can't go near it. It's a quarantine zone now.
Yeah, I think that's the issue with like item frames. It's the same in Java as well. If you have like too many of them and like too many things there, it's just like displaying so much crap that like it can't handle it.
So I hope I can figure out a way to actually get that resolved. Like maybe like find a way to send a piece of TNT and blow it all the item frames. But I haven't figured it out since. If
you port it to PC, you might be able to host it on PC fine.
Maybe because I feel like the second I get rid of the map as a whole, that area is back to normal and you can just go to that area again. So I think that is the source of the problem. But I guess I haven't figured it out since. But we'll see. Now that Minecraft has kind of evolved over the years. It changed so much. Like they have what's the next update? Is it the different wolf breeds? I think
Dog
it's
breeds or
dog
something
breeds.
like that.
Yeah. So like Minecraft has basically what I like to say. It grew up with us, kind of in a way. Yeah, it evolved with us. So, what was one very fond memory you remember, just from anything? Could be my server, could be whatever stuff you played.
For me, it was like my first time getting into modded. I got bored of vanilla Minecraft very quickly.
That's no surprise.
Yeah. So back in 1.7, I started playing like some of the older mod packs, like Hexit, and what was the other one called? Techit, I think. Yeah, Hexit and Techit were like the original like older mod packs.
Didn't you play Tekkit at some point?
Did I?
I guess he doesn't
I
remember.
don't remember.
We played Tekken.
Tekken, yes.
Different game, yeah. But yeah, I started playing modded more, and then after like just kind of opening my eyes to modded, I couldn't go back to vanilla anymore because vanilla was just like uber boring. And then as the updates kind of rolled around, when 1.12 came around, that was like the next big jump for modded from 1.7 to 1.12. And then I started playing more mod packs and like a lot more stuff during that time. And I started playing like my first like main mod pack, which was called SevTech Ages. And that was also where I made like, I met two of my longest friends that I've known as well.
So you met them on the server. They're in your Discord server, I would assume.
Yeah.
Have you met up with them?
I have not. I've met up with a different friend, but I've like face cammed with them. I know what they look like. I've been friends with them for probably like 6 years now, so I've known them for a while. And SevTech was where it all started, and that was also kind of the start of my journey with like Minecraft server hosting and like modding and things like that. So that's also kind of like my expertise now, is like servers.
I remember Minecraft at its peak YouTube era back then. Everyone was doing like modded showcases and like a bunch of gameplay. Sadly, a lot of those YouTubers have fallen off. That's the unfortunate reality. But I remember vividly coming home from school. I remember seeing the Lucky Block videos.
Oh yeah, those were big.
Those were big. I remember coming home from school and I was very excited to like sit down and get my dinner and watch one of those videos. So I remember from the Lucky Block there was like either you get like really good stuff like a beacon or Ender Dragon egg. I think they've gotten crazier since, or it opens up a vortex and it sucks you in and you die. Or something like that.
So Lucky Block has kind of evolved because that was the original name for like the first one back in like probably 1.7 or like pre 1.7. And then as it updated, like a lot of different versions come out because, you know, people like to copy stuff and like rename it. And another one, when it eventually evolved and got moved to like 1.12, the actual mod itself didn't really move until way later, I think. And a new one called like Chance Cubes came out of it. Like the original Lucky Block was kind of just like for fun, just like random. But then Chance Cubes kind of took it and then blew it up and made it bigger.
Well, the concept was based off the chance blocks from Mario.
Yeah, so they kind of took that and then just really put it into Minecraft. So like with Lucky Blocks, it was mainly just like, oh, like if you open it, you could blow up, haha, or like get like a bunch of diamonds or something. And then with Chance Cubes, they made it so that you could make a Super Chance Cube, which took like 27 of them.
Were you supposed to feed it like diamonds and emeralds to increase the luck?
I think you could like craft it with those items and it'll like increase the luck of it. But like at base, it was like just random. You could also make it negative luck as well.
Yeah, that I remember. I remember I don't remember which YouTuber. It was either Sunday or someone else. But they would purposely do challenges where it's all unlucky blocks. And the best thing you could pull out of it was the winner. And then if they whatever gear or other loot they got, they would head towards a battle arena and just fight just some like crazy shit mod or something like that. Like I remember there was one, I think they fought the Iron Giant. Another one was the Witherstorm from campaign mode or the story mode, sorry. Like
Were they like custom bosses?
yeah,
then?
with custom bosses, I
okay.
think. I don't know where they are to this day. Maybe they're I don't know. I know Dan TDM is somewhat just chilling now. He used to be crazy with his YouTube stuff. Now he's just in his like retirement era, but he still posts every once in a while.
I think they both still post.
Yeah, I think he has. Well, no, he has a kid now, so he has to dedicate a lot of his time to be a father, which obviously that makes sense. But I think every once in a while, I do see sometimes on Twitter, I see him like post stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I got new videos. So it's good to see that nothing has completely died out, because later on we had a new batch of Minecraft content creators. Like we had like Dream SMP. I remember that was big, the Dream SMP.
I never followed the Dream SMP, but there was like so much stuff revolving around it. Yeah. And then like
Well, that was during COVID. I assume like everyone was staying inside, so it really piqued their audience, I guess.
yeah, the main thing I got out of the whole Dream SMP thing was like it was just Technoblade. That was
Technoplay never dies.
Rest in peace. He was probably one of like the main Minecraft YouTubers that I would watch from time to time. It was like mainly his like PvP videos because I was pretty big into like Bed Wars back then, and he did a lot of that stuff. So
I think we tried a Bed Wars game and we absolutely sucked.
on the Bedrock servers,
I think so. We weren't able to generate enough currency fast enough to build the defenses, and two teams just kind of swarmed us. But going back to I remember going back to like Dream, Technoplay, and also you have a bunch of other Minecraft YouTubers. I remember like during the pandemic, that was kind of a small bit of nostalgia came back because it was like that peak childhood watching the modded videos again. But it was more like, oh, in the SMP is not so much with mods, it's more just like PvE. You have one very OP guy, very skilled guy trying to survive while 20 other people are coming after him. So I think it switched from the wild content to just simple entertainment.
I think it still followed kind of like the wild content, I think, because they had a lot of like it was an SMP, right? But they had like so many people in there that
they had a lot
like,
of YouTubers going.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of popular people, and they would like make their own stories within like the overarching story that was like the SMP. So they would have a lot of like different like events and stuff, right? From at least from what I've heard, I haven't watched like too much of it, but from what I've seen, there was like a lot of gatherings and stuff that they did, and they'd like murder each other.
I remember Mr. Beast did a Technoblade versus Dream video. That was pretty big. I remember.
Oh yeah. That one was. I mean, because everyone at that time was like, Dream was like a big PvPer, but like Technoblade also was, and they were like, actually, I think Dream was a speedrunner first.
He was a speedrunner first.
But he was like pretty good at PvP, and then people were kind of like, because I think he was on the newer versions, and then Technoblade was on the older versions, and then people were like, who would win, right? And then obviously it grew and grew, and then with the Dream SMP, it got bigger until everyone was dying to know the question, and then Mr. Beast jumped on the hype.
I feel like Minecraft is there's a Minecraft movie coming. I'm glad we're talking about this, actually. Yeah, there's a Minecraft movie coming. So the game is just constantly evolving, and I honestly feel like as we, hit our adulthood, like this is something when we're sitting on our deathbeds, this is something we can reminisce on. Like, oh yeah, I remember the good old Minecraft days. But yeah, there's a Minecraft movie coming. Jason Momoa and Jack Black are the stars of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those are some big names. But
it's live action.
Oh.
So I'm a little bit skeptical about it. If they did what they did with Super Mario, made a whole animation, it's an animated movie, I would have more faith in what they were doing, but it's live action.
Maybe they're taking a page out of the Sonic movie?
Potentially. But how do you take a pixelated world and put it into IRL?
I just hope they don't try to go with like the realistic route, and then everything ends up looking really weird.
Or they try to turn Jason and Jack Black into Minecraft skins.
Minecraft.
Block Minecraft.
Do we know anything about the movie?
They've only pulled... one recent teaser, which was to celebrate the game's 15th birthday, and it was just Jack Black taking a pickaxe and cutting a cake, and then Jason Momoa was just in the back hyping him up.
I'm wondering what like the story is gonna be.
That's what I'm thinking. Because do you remember Herobrine?
Oh yeah, that was huge back in like
That was
pre 1.9, I
huge,
think.
Yeah, I was thinking if they were going to go that route, make him the villain, or they were going to do an established villain like the Ender Dragon or the Wither. Honestly, because the game is such an open world game, like a sandbox game, like it's kind of hard to formulate a cohesive story out of it.
Yeah, that's the kind of the issue where Minecraft is at right now, because I think they're starting to try to put lore into it, but like they're not, at least from what I've like seen of the game and from like what they're releasing so far, it doesn't feel like they're trying to really build off of any of like the old hype or like the old theories or anything that's like currently in the game so far. And then they've ended up branching off into like Minecraft story mode and like I think there's like another one coming out now as well. After they released like a roguelike
Dungeons or something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're releasing another one after that now, and there's like a third one coming out. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Minecraft Legends.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
It
And it's
came out
supposed
already though, right?
Oh, did
Yeah.
it come out already?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just.
What is it
Maybe
about?
not.
I haven't really looked into it.
I think it's like a MMO.
Really?
No, it's top down. I don't know if it's an MMO.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe it's like an ARPG.
What are the
then.
reviews on
I
it?
think ARPG.
I don't think it was that great.
Oh no.
I wouldn't be surprised. Most of the things except for I think Dungeons did pretty well, but I heard story mode was kind of like.
Story mode had 2 seasons. I remember. The second season had a pretty emotional ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was actually quite sad.
I never like finished it because I got like I think like maybe halfway through the first one because I was like playing it on like somebody else's account or something, and it was kind of cringe.
I feel like Minecraft has some of the same issue as Fortnite, where they're trying to put lore into the game, but you have no idea where the direction is. You don't know what they're trying to do with the lore. Like Fortnite's lore is kind of confusing as well. Even with like the live events that they do, it's like it's cool, but how does that make sense with the rest of the narrative? And I think part of that is due to the immense amount of collabs they're doing. So it's kind of just tampering with the lore in a bit. I feel like Minecraft is also going down that route because recently there's been a lot of collabs they've been doing as well. There's been a Kung Fu Panda collab, Monsterverse collab. Oh no, not just Monsterverse. They did a whole like Godzilla universe collab as a whole. They recently did. I think they did prequels collab for Star Wars because Phantom Menace just turned 25 years old this year. And so yeah, they're kind of following the franchise collab thing. What they were able to do compared to Fortnite is that it doesn't interfere with the main game.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they haven't added anything into the game from the collabs, right? It's all like external. But like with Fortnite, I think it's like at this point, I remember like I haven't played Fortnite for like a really long time. I think I stopped like before they started doing like a lot of collabs.
Did you play Chapter 2? I remember playing with you in Chapter 1.
Yeah, I played up till maybe only like season 5 or 6. I think that might have been when I stopped. Like after there was like one with like John Wick and like
That was quite early on. I think that was Chapter 1, Season 5. Yeah. I remember that vividly because that was the first time I bought a Battle Pass.
Yeah, so that's probably around the time I stopped playing when they started adding in like all the crazy stuff and everything, because it kind of got to the point where it didn't really feel like a full battle royale anymore. It was more like an arcade shooter with like a bunch of crap thrown in.
Also, I feel like it's a collection. Sometimes people go on the game just to buy these skins, maybe because they're here for a limited time, and then they can flex on people.
Definitely.
Also, I've seen some people sell their accounts.
Oh yeah, you can make so much money.
Yeah. I don't think you do that with Minecraft.
You can't really do it because it's like a sandbox game, right? Like the most you could do is like maybe sell them to like hackers or something, but you maybe make like $20 per account or something.
Can the same be done with Overwatch?
Yeah, they have I think they have some limited skins, and also like you can collect skins and stuff like that, right? Also, there are people, I mean, hackers again. They buy like ranked accounts.
That's right. That was big. I remember, especially for tournaments, they would buy these really high level accounts just to practice on it. I don't know if they actually bring. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are for some of these tournaments. Maybe they use like a set account. I'm not sure. I don't think they're allowed to use their own accounts.
It depends on the tournament. Usually, if it's like a official big tournament and things like that, they will have like PCs there, and then they will have like test accounts or like accounts that have like nothing on them, just so it's like just for the players. But like usually if it's like just a random like I don't know, a high school tournament or something, or if like someone's just hosting it, then like you just use your own account. It doesn't yeah.
Well, this is a great transition because I was going to ask you, have you ever thought about doing esports?
I have for a little bit, but I haven't really found like a game that like captivates me to really do esports. I have dabbled a bit into it in previous games. I did it with Phantom Forces. I actually was on a team and we did play, but around that time the esports scene for Phantom Forces was already kind of dying and going downhill. So ultimately nothing really came out of that. And then when I was playing Fortnite for a little bit, I got invited to like a team.
Did you?
Yeah, but nothing ever happened
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't know.
Did they offer you money?
No, it was like, hey, you want to like join our team and like try to play for esports and like practice and stuff? And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Sure, why not? They kind of just like we played like a couple games and then like nothing came out of it. So I don't know what happened
Did
to
it
that
get
afterwards.
extremely sweaty? Because Fortnite is so fucking sweaty now.
Oh yeah, I remember like doing build battles and stuff, and like that was like the main thing you had to learn if you wanted to get into esports was building.
Just to make sure, no one shame me in the comments, but I'm a zero build player. Just I can't keep up with build. It's everyone's such a goddamn sweat. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, I remember when I first started playing Fortnite, it was like, where's the fun if you can just like place a wall down?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I kind of stopped like playing after a while when the game got too much, but it was all right when they released like the no build mode. That was pretty interesting, but I never really liked the gun mechanics in Fortnite, so I ultimately never went back to it.
A lot of the current guns they have right now, I don't think many people use it. They have some ARs where the recoil is insane. Like it's really hard to line up your shots without the gun just sending you backwards. There's only like I think 2 or 3 guns that most people use because obviously you got the AR, you got the shotgun, sometimes SMG. I'm not sure. Currently, right now they're doing again a Star Wars collab. So currently some of the Stormtrooper guns are in the game, so we would use that. So yeah, I know it's very different compared to like regular gaming, and then you got the esports, which is a way more competitive field.
I got into like full esports when I started playing Apex.
Right.
I had a friend who was super big on competitive, and I would play with him a lot. And eventually, we started looking into like doing esports and like competitive and stuff. And unfortunately, I couldn't actually play on a team with him because esports is separated into the area that you live in. So like NA has their own esports scene, EU, and then like Oceania and like Japan and stuff. Not Japan, like it's like the Asias. But yeah, they all had like their own region. So ultimately, I would like take a step back from the game. But like he really had like that like IGL, which is like in-game leader mindset. So he would be like leading the team and like making the choices of like what to do in the game. And it kind of got me to look at games like that are strategic, that have like a competitive side to it, a little differently and a little more competitively, I guess, especially when I was playing like scrims with him, because when you're doing like practices and like scrims and stuff like that, they don't lock your region. So I would occasionally play like some scrims and like some smaller tournaments where they didn't region lock you, and I would do okay. He would do like way better because he just played the game like way more than I did. But yeah, he played like almost exclusively Apex a lot.
I knew someone like that. He would. I think he still plays. He just plays ranked only, and there's nothing else that would stop him. Like I remember, we got on with him and we're like, oh yeah, like we're too low level. Can we just do casual? He's like, nah, it has to be ranked. I'm like, all right, suit yourself. But I think he wants to. I think he actually wants to get an official team and play competitively.
Yeah, so getting into the comp scene is it depends on the game. For Apex, it's not too hard, but you need to be pretty good at the game.
Which I am absolutely not.
Yeah, most of the time people won't even look at you if you aren't like at least diamond. Yeah. For your rank, or usually masters, which is like the highest rank in the game minus pred.
Also, people will look if you play specific characters that are not really like, I guess, teamwork friendly. People will be like, "Why are you playing this character?" or "Why are you here?" Like,
yeah, it kind of depends, because if you're like actually seriously playing with the team, you'll decide beforehand what comp you want to play. So usually the team comp is decided beforehand, and you'll have like a spot where you want to land, and then like a general game plan of like where you want to go and what you're going to be doing. Which for battle royales, it's a little different because the ring is different every time. But with Apex, at some points, there were times where you could predict where the ring was going to go based on the location of the first and second ring. Which I know it sounds kind of insane, but like you kind of like triangulated the location of like the last ring, and then depending on what kind of team comp you were playing, you would use that information to either attack other teams or go to that area and set up beforehand. So there's like different play styles. You could play like a more defensive comp with like people who would like lock down buildings, and like you would play guns that poke people. So you'd play like DMRs or like snipers and stuff, because they had like the Evo shields in the game, right, where you could like level up your shields. And then if you're playing a more aggressive comp, we call it like edge or zone teams. So edge teams would be playing around the outside, and they'd be hunting teams, and they like go for kills and go for points. It's a more like higher risk, high reward kind of thing. So like depending on your playstyle, most people will fall into one of those categories, and then your team will revolve around that playstyle, your character.
so it's very like strategic, but also aggro at the same time.
Yeah, depending on which playstyle you play, but you have to play aggro, but you also have to know when to not play aggro, like when to back off and when to like look at teams and stuff. Yeah, it's like a lot of people are saying like, oh yeah, ranked is like very close to comp and stuff, but like once you actually get into it, you realize it's like it's completely different. Like the playstyles, the metas, everything is completely different from like regular ranked gameplay, which is because it's a lot more because everyone plays a lot more together. Because like when you're in ranked, you can still treat it like a pub game where you just like go around and you like stomp people if you wanted to. But like with competitive, everyone's beaming everyone, so you have to play together and you have to communicate, which is like the biggest thing.
Interesting. So, what game have you thought of then? If you were to go into esports?
So Apex was like originally the main one, but then the game started to do some wonky shit. So I kind of slowly like stopped playing as much when the game wasn't as fun, and then I'm kind of just chilling right now. I don't really have anything I have my eye on. I started playing like a new MOBA recently called like Eternal Return, which is like a Korean style. It's a MOBA style battle royale. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like it plays like League, but it's a battle royale.
Is the community very toxic?
It's surprisingly nice actually. The Korean community can be pretty competitive, but yeah, they're actually all like really nice. I've had the opportunity to meet like some Korean streamers and talk as much as I can with them because they don't really speak English that much. Some of them do, but like their community is like pretty nice. Obviously, you'll get like your toxic people from time to time, but like that's kind of any community that you're in. And for a MOBA, it's surprisingly fun, and it's like a fresh concept that I've never really like encountered. Because like battle royale, but like it's like a MOBA, so it like plays like League, but then it follows like the format of like a battle royale, and it's pretty unique, and it's actually really fun, and everything in the game, like, it looks nice, the skins are nice as well, and it's not like super predatory with like their microtransactions and stuff, so it's fun.
I mean, as long as their microtransactions come through cosmetics and stuff, I think it should be pretty harmless in a way. I remember when Battlefront first launched.
Yeah, oh, that was a whole different mess. Yeah, most of the time, like, it's pretty harmless. The issue with some of the cosmetic microtransactions, even though it seems harmless, is like some companies will use like FOMO, which is like fear of missing out, right? So they'll like release a limited skin or like a limited edition of like something, and it'll look really cool, but like the chance to get it is like 0.01% from like a box, and the only way to get the box is to like pay money or like play the game a bunch, and then maybe you only get like one box and then not get the item from it. So sometimes, even if it just looks like it's only cosmetics, it can still be pretty predatory.
Interesting. So do you much prefer playing these type of games or more of like the single player campaign style games? Because he plays Final Fantasy.
Oh, Final Fantasy 14?
No. 7 Rebirth.
7 Rebirth. Ah, are you gonna play the new release of it, the re-release?
Re-release.
Is that the
That is the re-release.
Is that the re-release?
That is the
it did come out then.
Well, it's a sequel.
Yeah, see, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, I haven't kept up with it. I didn't realize it released already. Yeah, but I'm a fan of like both. I like the single player games for their story, but I like playing games with like other people, especially now that I've like kind of grown my community out a bit more. I like teaching people the games that I play.
That's
So
good.
games like
Bit of coaching.
Warframe, yeah, I really like to help people learn the game and like just kind of get into the game if they're like new. And Warframe was probably my biggest one because the tutorial is known to be like notoriously kind of mid. Yeah, it doesn't guide you through everything. Yeah, but the game is like so big that it's kind of almost impossible. But the community for Warframe is probably one of the, it's actually not one of the, it's the best I have ever been part of, hands down. I've never met like a more welcoming and like friendly community.
Honestly, more games need communities like this.
Oh yeah, it's very hard though.
Oh, you just see Overwatches.
Yeah, that kind of comes with the territory though, with like a PvP game, right? It's like it's very hard to get like a nice friendly community. Like I think the best one in terms of like PvP that I found was like Escape from Tarkov. I played that a while, but the game is currently in the middle of a extremely big like controversy with the devs. So
Oh yeah, you briefly told me that the other day. I mean, do you want to give the audience an idea of what's about?
yeah, so the most expensive edition of the game was called EOD, Edge of Darkness, and they were releasing it as like an exclusive limited time edition of the game that you could get in the beta. And if you got it, you would get early access to the game, which like everyone has right now with all of the editions of the game. You would also get future access to all DLCs for free, and you also get a special it's called a secure container, which is like an item in the game. And they recently removed this edition of the game, put a new edition of the game for an extra $100 in it.
On top of what you already paid originally?
Well, you keep your edition. So it's just that if you want to upgrade to it, you'd have to pay the price again.
Double charge.
Yeah, and also they released a like a DLC. They're not calling it a DLC, but everyone is like, yeah, that's a DLC. And they released it saying that if you get this new edition of the game, you get access to this instantly. And the community was like on fire. And it's still on fire right now because the devs have been doubling down on it and saying like, yeah, no, this is not a DLC. This is like an extra game mode. It's
They
like
try to give their like professional.
yeah, they're trying to like
counter-arguments.
dodge around it a
Yeah.
bit, and they also changed like the wordings on the editions of the game on the store. So they like, because for Edge of Darkness they said it was a unique secure container, but before they got rid of the version, they just said you get a secure container now. So they changed the wording of the edition of the game without telling anyone. And then they added in this new edition to replace that one, which was $100 more expensive, which also has that container now, and also has all of those perks, but then also like more stuff that borderlines on pay to win now. Like you have more slots in your inventory, more slots in like your stash, which is like your inventory that's not on you. And
That's a bit. Wow, that's a lot.
So it's the
Yeah.
same, it's the same thing, but it's $100 more.
yeah, and you get like more perks, which is like kind of borderline to the point where it's kind of pay to win now, which like people are just not happy about it, and they're, instead of like trying to fix it or talk with the community about it, they're doubling down on it.
So they're just hell bent, I guess. Like they're not really. I guess the most important thing any gaming studio should do is to listen to the fans. That's the relationship is important.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like to just listen to the fans, because like at the end of the day, like devs, they have like their own vision of the game, right? But I think it's important to have like communication with the community and being able to see it like in a different light as well, because they might have a vision of the game, but like from the community's perspective, the game might look a little different from what they have in mind. So it's just important to have that like communication there and being like, hey, we hear what you're saying and we're working on it. Or like, hey, this is what we're working on right now, and we just like to tell you that like show you what we're working on and stuff like that. Like I think more games need that.
Well, it's a great thing you mentioned that, because a primary example of something like this, Helldivers.
Yeah, the most recently released big game, which was also on fire recently.
Yes, it was.
They fixed it though, so
Well, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember I just saw on Twitter it got very messy.
yeah. So the issue with Helldivers was because originally they're under Sony, right?
Are they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are backed by Sony, and they originally you didn't have to connect a PSN account to the game in order to play. But once people got the game and started playing, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, they announced that they, in order to play the game, you would have to link a PSN account. And people were absolutely livid over this because most people who get a PC game don't want to make a PSN account.
Not that, but it's also not available.
And also in a lot of regions where people have bought the game, a PSN account, you can't even make a PSN account in it, which means they would be locked out of playing the game permanently.
Did you guys have to do that?
I already have an account.
I mean, you guys probably already have PSN.
We were doing it because we're trying to. There was a friend request.
Oh yeah, that friend
issue.
request bug was so inconvenient. Basically, the issue. I think the reason why they made that PSN link thing was to attempt to solve the bug, which was console players couldn't add PC players. Like the function was there, but it would just completely bug out. It would just say loading democracy or something, and it just stay like that for hours. So I couldn't add them to play together. And
you could you still invite each other to play?
what
or?
we did was we try to find each other's public games, and then we just link up there. That took a while, but it worked.
Eventually
It works. Now I've actually successfully added them, so we don't have to do that anymore. But that was such a big hassle because you leave your privacy public, someone random might just join your game, and then you're gonna have to kick them out so you can let them in. But yeah, the reason why, I think mainly due to that reason, was why they made that PSN link thing, which just made things even worse.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is that Sony is known, like extremely known for data leaks.
Oh yeah, when Insomniac got hacked.
Yeah, they've gotten hacked like multiple times in like the past 10 years.
They were
a lot more than they should.
They were held. What happened? They had files on a couple Marvel games, and they were demanding a 2 million ransom.
I don't know too much about that situation because like I've only seen like the I saw like a timeline, but I don't know.
Well, the studio didn't comply, so they just leaked all the files.
Yeah, like the Wolverine game got leaked.
Yeah. So it was a pretty big mess for Insomniac to clean up, but yeah, thankfully that hasn't happened yet to like games like Helldivers. Well, going back to what you were saying, like the whole PSN thing, so everyone was fully opposed against it. So did they fix it after? Or
Yeah,
is
pretty
it
much.
just-
Yeah. So after like talking with the community and like the immense amount of backlash from the community, like on Steam, the reviews went from like 95% all the way down to like 36. People completely review bombed the game to absolute shit. It was hilarious. I remember checking it like one day. I was like, yeah, it's 95. The next day I was like,
It's
56.
33.
I checked. It was like 56. Later in the day, it was like 36, and then I checked again, and it would like drop down even.
Could you
more.
quickly like look up what it's
Yeah, I
at
can
now? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's fixed now because they changed it back to the original where you didn't have to link it. So people were like, okay, we're done now. We can change our reviews.
yeah.
So they reverse review bombed it.
Yeah,
Kind of.
they unbombed.
This whole situation happened around the time we took a break from Helldivers, so it's kind of like I missed out on.
Oh, so
I
you
missed-
guys did?
I
Yeah, you
sat
guys missed out on the whole
on
thing.
the whole
but-
drama. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now it's the recent reviews are sitting at 66% positive.
Like
yes.
overall? Or-
Yeah, overall, all reviews is now back up to 73%, but it is.
But
It's
it
a
has
far cry
it has,
from the
It has
90%
taken
it
some
was.
damage.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate,
It's
but
very unfortunate, yeah. But like that's the thing, right? It's like a lot of people have like issues with Sony just as like a company in general because they tend to do some pretty scummy shit sometimes.
I remember there was this news that came out a couple weeks ago that apparently the FBI was going to release some PlayStation chats to the public, which I thought was stupid because like a bunch of people are going to get arrested for saying some wild stuff.
I don't know. People were saying like, "Hey, we should make it so you can get arrested for the stuff you say in game," and I was like, "Man, the entire Call of Duty community is
Exactly.
gonna be
The whole
gone."
COD community is done for. But like they have been saying stuff like this for years, and like nothing's really happened since. I remember.
Is that real or is that like a
No,
troll
it was
article?
just a bunch of bullshit.
No, but there were some people who were like genuinely calling for that. Like, "Hey, we should make people like take responsibility for like the things they say
Yeah,
in the game." And
They
it's
were
like-
probably like when they were probably hurt by some online
I don't
troll
know,
at some point.
probably.
Because like I remember like we would, because of those news, like back then we would like jokingly say as we're chatting some wild stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, to the FBI agents listening right now, like I'm sorry. like it's, I don't know. Yeah, Sony, I can see why Sony is getting a bit of sus energy out of them, because yeah, especially with, I feel like they've gotten a little better, but they really need to do a lot of work in order to.
Yeah, they've like gotten better in some stuff, but it's like with the game dev side, at least, it's like there was like a whole controversy with Stellar Blade as well.
What happened there? I just saw like a brief article of it.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they
he
had
seems
like,
he knows.
yeah, do you know about it? They had like a censoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the game came out with the original outfits, but shortly after the game released, they released a patch to the game which censored some of the outfits. The censor didn't really do anything, honestly. It just kind of it was kind of pointless.
Censoring as in what? To like keep
Clothing.
it PG?
No,
It's still M-rated.
the game is M-rated. It has like gore. The girl is still like half naked half the time. Like it's all they did was maybe like cover a bit of cleavage on like 2 outfits.
Because Fortnite did something like that. Not like cover up the skin, but like censor a bunch of skins because they're not PG, and then they just block it. You couldn't use it, and they got massive backlash for it. It got to the point, I think it made it onto news at one point. It was big news. They reversed it like 2 days after.
Yeah, I think there's a petition going on for Stellar Blade right now to reverse the censorship, and I think it's at like over 100K signatures right now. And hopefully Sony will and the studio will listen to it, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people's speculations is that like Sony forced the game studio to censor it, and unfortunately the game studio can't say anything about that because they probably have like some sort of like NDA or like something, and also it doesn't look good for the company to do that to like a publisher.
And then apparently I heard like some people were saying Helldivers, the devs didn't want to do it, but Sony wanted them to do it. So
Exactly, yeah. They also had the same issue with the that's mainly for the PSN linking, because I think originally the game was supposed to have PSN linking at the beginning, but I think they either put it off or like they were on purposely trying to like get around it so people didn't have to link it. And then when Sony was like finally forcing them to link it, they didn't want to do it, but they kind of had to. And then the community just like.
So if it sounds like the studio already knew it was a bad idea at the start, and the Sony just kind of.
But there's nothing
You
they can
better
do
do
about
it.
it if the publisher tells them, "Hey,
Yeah.
got to do this."
So a couple months back, I actually visited the EA HQ. Like I went inside and I talked to some of the devs. One of the things that they were talking about was how much control do they actually have. So if there was another game studio that approached EA is like the distributor or like the publisher for them. How much do they actually have to say? Like what kind of power they have? And the answer I got, which I feel like is the more niche answer, because I did have to sign an NDA before going in. So I guess even then there was some stuff that they weren't willing to reveal. But from what I got, it was along the lines of like, basically you come to us with your idea. We'll take a look at your idea. If the game's good, we'll see if any of our mechanics can work on your idea. And then we'll just leave it up to you. And then
Mechanics.
Exactly.
Microtransactions.
Exactly. And then after you go develop your game, do all the graphics, make it look good, come back to us with the final product. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll like write a quick evaluation sheet. What works, what doesn't work, any suggestions, kind of like a feedback grade, if you will. And then after they go back, make any changes if they need to, and then they send it back to EA, and then they'll decide with the higher ups how to release it publicly, how to distribute it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure a lot more.
Unfortunately,
behind the scenes.
so that means they have like a decent amount of control of like what goes on in the game and what goes into the game. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like it's up to them whether they're going to release it or not. And if you want your money back after working on a game for like 5 years, you kind of have to make those changes. Otherwise, like all that money's gone. It's like down the drain.
And I think that process also with skins. The Apex cosmetics department is actually at that HQ. So yeah, no, the artists design the skins, and then it's like a similar process, but they wouldn't let us inside the designing room. Fair, but it's a lot of back and forths. I draw you this. If you don't like it, go draw me a new one. Then if I like it, then I'll put it out. So, something like that. It's like the 5-year-old textbook answer.
Yeah, that's a lot of issues with like companies nowadays. Is like everything takes so long to get done because it's like, okay, I need to get this done, so I tell my higher up, and then they're like, okay, you need to get this done. I need to ask my higher up, and then it just keeps going up and up and up until somebody decides, okay, I actually have the power to say yes, and then it has to come all the way back down. And then if there's something along the way that they're like, oh no, I can't approve it, has to come all the way back down. You have to make a change, and then you have to send it all the way back up again, and then all the way back down, and it just...
Which leads me to wonder, like, how is Epic Games able to secure so many collabs if the process like this takes so long?
Well, the thing is, Fortnite as an example, it's made directly by the platform that releases the game, so like Epic Games, right? Fortnite is their product. So they don't need to worry about anything because they are the publisher and the developer.
So I guess they just negotiate with like this franchise studio. Or
Exactly,
whatever,
yeah. It's a lot easier for them to secure a collab. Also, with publishers, generally speaking, I think collabs are more done through like the game studio. But like, it's probably like, I mean, it's probably paperwork again. They still have to plan like super far ahead and then like get the okay sign. So it's a lot easier if you are both the publisher and the developer.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because also there's not a lot of asking. It was just more like, let's sit down at a table, have a quick discussion. We both settle on the profits or whatever. And
which would be great if it was a quick discussion, but half the time, like, they just faff about in the
That's
office
true.
room. So
That's true.
it's a lot of like talking in circles or like people being incompetent at their job.
Overwatch is also kind of doing that now. They've done some anime collabs, but at the same time, from what I'm hearing, Blizzard is like falling to pieces, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, to say the least. Diablo 4 is a disaster. Overwatch 2 is a disaster. Call of Duty is...
Which actually,
Call
real
of
quickly,
Duty.
what do you think of the current state of Overwatch. It's a bit of a fine line there.
I left Overwatch a long time ago, and I came back and I saw a hamster in a ball. Yeah, I was extremely confused.
Because they have a gay guy now, and they have an LGBTQ chick in the game now. I don't even know if she goes by her. It's a they, them. Like, it's confusing me at this point.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what mainstream games kind of have to pander to now, especially with like the general audience and like the outcry of like the public, I guess. And I think with Overwatch specifically, at least, because I stopped playing when the first game
Transitioned into
yeah like before it transitioned into the second game, like long before, because I think they did like the whole McCree name change thing before.
That was a messy situation. It was
I
just
was-
because of the person is associated with something
Yeah.
bad, and it's,
I still call him McCree because that's what I knew him as, and I never remember the new name.
Cassidy.
Right, yeah. I never remember it, so I'm still probably not going to use it, but yeah, with the transition to Overwatch 2, it kind of felt like they just took everything from the first game and then just kind of released it.
But I feel like some things haven't changed. For example, Winston is still a very complicated character to use. Like, he can be really good if you really know how to use him. But if you don't, you're gonna barely scratch anyone with that Tesla rifle.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is like, it feels like they just took everything from the first game, slapped on Overwatch 2 as the name, added like some shiny stuff, and then
Yeah, and
released
they
it
were
again.
hyping it so much too. They're like, "Oh, this is one of our biggest changes," and then they've been doing it for almost 5 years. I remember one of the biggest selling points was the PVE thing,
I was gonna say,
With
they
the
also
customizations.
promised the
Yeah.
PvE to come back in Overwatch 2.
but it never happened. They
It
like
did.
didn't deliver. Well,
I
sort
think
of,
they did deliver,
sort of.
but then they released like I'm hearing I remember hearing this from a friend, but apparently they released like 3 missions.
It's paywalled.
Oh, it's it's
Part of
paywall
it's
2,
paywall.
and it's dead now. Like they're not developing it anymore.
The
so it's just like-
customization was the biggest thing. I remember one of the blueprints I saw was you can change Genji's ult, his sword, to like different DPS, different durability. You can
I
put
think
enchantments.
There
on-
was a skill tree promise.
Yeah, it was
right?
something like that. That I know for sure never delivered.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they wanted Overwatch 2 to be big, and then they just kind of took stuff from Overwatch 1, slapped it in, and said, yeah, we'll just release it like this instead. And so they literally just made a copy of the game and then released it again. And then that's kind of what Overwatch 2 is at right now, where it's just like, it's literally just the first game, but there's like a 2 on the end.
They're adding new stuff. They're consistent with new content. That's good on their part. It's just, number one, it's a bit slow. Number two, did anyone really ask for like some of the new stuff we got? I mean, Mogul was a pretty good character. I play him from time to time. I already got the golden weapon for him. But like I feel like other new content, like some of the collabs they did, like most recently right now, they have a Porsche collab, which just seems out of nowhere.
Porsche?
Yeah. So there's a Diva skin where it's her mech is like a Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah. And there's also one for Farah. Her armor is completely like silver. Like,
That actually sounds kind of cool.
it does, but like at the same time, you're like,
Why?
why?
And
Yeah.
why Porsche?
Why Porsche? Like, where did this come from? Like when I did the One Punch collab, that was pretty sick because Doomfist actually had a pretty sick skin. He actually looked like Saitama, so I wanted to get it, but I missed out on it. But that's another story.
I didn't know they did like anime collabs until like later. I heard about the One Punch one, but I don't know. The cosmetics in Overwatch are like, it's a slippery slope because
It's very
loot
slow,
boxes.
yeah. I can't remember a genuine skin where I'm like, that looks great. I want to buy it. Like,
Yeah, I think that's a lot of issues I have with games nowadays. Is specifically like the bigger ones I used to play was like Apex. I'm gonna be honest. Most of the skins in Apex, pretty bad.
no, they're ass. Whoever's spending money on these skins, like, you're wasting money, dude.
Like the coolest thing was maybe like the heirlooms that they added.
The heirlooms are pretty sick. Yeah.
But in order to get them, you have to like
No, but it's a flex.
Yeah.
You can flex some people with it. Rafe's heirloom was like a dagger thing, was it?
kunai.
A hookah knife,
The
yeah.
knife, yeah.
That was pretty sick. I
They have a
remember.
second one now for Wraith.
They do?
Yeah, there was a second one added, which was like a special like skin for it or something. Like it looks different. It's like a different heirloom for her entirely. It's really weird, but it looks cool. Ellie.
Yeah, that part is good, and also I guess it's the same thing with as golden weapons for Overwatch, but it's more skins, really.
Yeah, the issue with the heirlooms is that like you can't get them unless you like. I've been playing the game for like over, I want to say like almost 1.3, 1.5k hours, and I have one, and that was like recently.
For which character?
I don't remember. Oh, I got it for crypto. Cause I was playing a lot of crypto.
Was it for his drone or?
Yeah.
just
So
him?
essentially, he has like a sword. It's just
Oh
like
yeah, it's like this techno sword thing.
It's
I
like yeah,
remember.
it's
I
like
think
the
I've seen
techno
it.
sword that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
flips out and turns into like a
Like
short sword kind of thing.
Okay.
It's like retractable. Yeah, I remember seeing it.
the
I've never
retractable.
played him. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed playing like crypto for a certain amount of time, and he has a pretty good looking skin, so I enjoyed playing him. He wasn't bad. Most of the heirlooms are like all right. Some of them are pretty weird.
Revenant had a pretty sick one.
Yeah, he has like a scythe. So
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
like a
pretty
full
sick.
side,
But it
it
looks
was pretty cool.
ridiculous when you watch him running around.
It's
carrying
huge.
this giant ass scythe.
Have you seen Valkyries or yeah?
Yeah, the
Val-
the Farah ripoff, right?
I know, yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has like a full like fucking spear. She's like
Wow.
a like an actual like Valkyrie spear,
Mhm.
and it's like massive. It's like huge.
I think the idea of heirlooms is great, but it's more just like I played a lot of Apex. This is what I'm flexing it with. That's like the whole concept.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
issue is like I've had times where like cuz I'm like I'm like level I guess like 600
It's higher
700
than me.
now
I'm
in
still
the
on like
game.
200 something.
I'm in like the prestige ranks now. But there's people who are like level 100 who have like 2 heirlooms cuz they just got like shit lucky. Like, drew them from boxes.
from the bots.
Yeah. Because the only way you can get him is not time invested in the game, it's money invested in the game, which is a very classic EA thing.
So could you level 1 have all your heirlooms?
If you were extremely lucky, yeah, technically speaking.
Okay. Could you like just buy boxes and just
Yeah,
keep going?
there is a like a hard pity, which is fucking 500 Apex packs, and you get a guaranteed heirloom, which you'll hit around like level 500, maybe a bit after.
But can you pay for boxes? I don't remember.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, you can.
Overwatch
Yeah.
used to do loot boxes.
They don't anymore.
The Overwatch 1 was loot boxes. When they did 2, now it's similar to Fortnite. It's just cosmetics. You buy it from the item shop.
Because gambling laws. Yeah. Something like that, right?
Probably maybe if it's like if they want to stay in like the EU, but most of the time they just made it so that like you couldn't buy the boxes in EU or something, and they just like whatever.
Well, there's currently 3 currencies in Overwatch. So you got the main currency, which is the yellow coins. Then you got the white coins. That's more like money you get as you level up. Then you can pay using the white currency or the yellow currency for cosmetics, and then there's also the red currency, which is the competitive points to buy golden weapons.
And the new thing with the battle pass, right?
The battle pass
Bitcoins?
is just like Fortnite's battle passes. There's skins.
There's the new like blue one you can only get if you
Yeah,
pay
there's
for the battle
if you
pass.
own if you exclusively pay for
Yeah.
it, then you can
That
get
is
it.
confusing.
Yeah,
as
that's
hell.
very confusing.
Yeah, that's
Oh no,
a-
Dead by Daylight also did battle passes, and
Yeah.
I don't even want to go near it.
I mean, that's the thing that like
so
a lot of
confusing.
games do, right? You find this more in like gacha games with like your phone games and stuff like that, but games will they on purposely have multiple different currencies to make to confuse you into like spending more, or like make the amount that you have for your money less obvious of what the actual amount and the worth is. So like with some gacha games, they'll have like your main currency, they'll have the currency that you use to pull for characters, and then they'll have your premium currency that you actually use money to buy. So then you have to use your money to buy the premium currency, and then the premium currency to buy other currencies, so that you can actually use those currencies to do something.
I want
to
to say Clash kind of introduced that concept with the coins and gems.
It's a lot more straightforward, at least, because there's only two. You have your premium currency and then you have your regular gold, right? So it's not as bad in those games, but like in some games there's like 10 different currencies or something.
Bro,
It's like
Dead by
ridiculous.
Daylight has 4 different currencies. I don't even know where to start. it's so confusing. You have the blood points to buy perks, items, and stuff for your killers and survivors. Then you have the aura cells, which you use to buy skins that you can pay real money to get. Then you have the diamonds or crystals, something like that. You use that. I don't know how you even earn that, but that's to get the more premium stuff. Or you can use it to unlock new characters. If you save up enough, then you don't have to spend real money to buy a new killer or survivor. You can just use the diamond currency. And then there's one more, which is like a prestige ranked currency thing that if you play ranked and you also have the battle pass, then you can use it to level up. Long story short, it's a head scratcher. It's a big head scratcher.
Yeah, they do stuff like that on purpose to make it so that it's harder to tell like how much your money is actually worth for like the currencies in the game. And it's just, I mean, it's scummy, right? But it's...
Do you have any games you play that are like that have like 10 different currencies?
I don't think he does. That's why he looks so bored. He's like, I only play single
Because
player
that's true.
games."
Yeah, you only play single player games, like, or at least most of it. You sometimes play with us.
Yeah, so I got a PS5 like I don't know, a year ago or something. So I've been playing. I played
Around the
Final,
same time. You got it around the same time as me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Final Fantasy 16, the action game.
Yeah.
And then I've been collecting like PS4 games and stuff. I got Street Fighter 6. That's not a PS4 game, but and then I've been playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yeah, that's the newest one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I'm 120 hours in.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Is there still like more to do in the game?
Yeah, a lot.
How long do you think it'll take you to finish?
140?
What about like side quest to the main quest ratio?
Yeah, I've been trying to 100% it. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, you'll definitely get your money's worth out of a game if you try to 100% it. Do you have like a favorite Final Fantasy or like a favorite game in general?
I have this.
Time to whip out the
Whip out the tier list.
VAR time.
I use this website called Backlogged, and I like log every game I play.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty smart actually. Yeah, I just have my Steam library. That's all I have.
I guess he has multiple. He does PC and PS5.
That's true.
And Switch and 3DS and DS and Game Boy. And
Okay.
Damn, okay, yeah, that's fair.
chill.
Did you ever get into like Pokemon or anything like that then?
I'm not a Pokemon person. I just watch my bleep it out. I watch play it, but
He started your Overwatch account.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he has a
golden weapon
yeah,
for
yeah.
Winston.
I see.
So here's my account.
Are we showing the camera?
Okay, I don't know.
You can just show him, I guess.
Yeah, here. Here's my favorite games. So
You want to read out the list? I don't
Hollow
know.
Knight?
Hollow Knight.
You can read out the list. You're fine
Yeah.
with that, right?
yeah,
Okay,
Final
you can read out the
Fantasy, the PS1 version.
Oh, so the OG.
Yeah, the OG.
okay.
I played that like bleep it out. Hyper Light Drifter, which is a really like
It's a hack and slash? Or what
single
kind of
player game, but it's like top down. Yeah,
Is it like a dungeon crawler or
Story, right?
story like semi open world.
sounds interesting?
I
And
tried
then
it. but
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, you got stuck. Yeah, Breath of the Wild, and my first introduction to platform fighters, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, on the Wii.
Oh, that's a Wii version.
Yeah, I played that. Bleep it out again.
Dude,
Kyle.
There's gonna be so much bleeping. He's like, what is he talking about?
And then Hollow Knight.
Yeah, Hollow Knight.
Did you like Hollow Knight? Did you finish it?
Yeah, 80 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't take that long then. I thought the
Yeah.
game would take longer.
Did you try that?
I didn't play Hollow Knight. I don't have the game. but I had some friends who played it, and I've seen some people who play the game, and I've played like similar games to those, and like they can be pretty damn hard.
Is Hollow Knight hard?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
People compare it to Dark Souls.
It's the Dark Souls of like platformer games. Yeah.
Or Cuphead could be compared.
Yeah, that's true. Cuphead too. Yeah, it's
I
that
tried
same, like,
Cuphead
genre.
once. I'm just like, what the hell am I playing?
Yeah, it's a lot of like those games are a lot of memorizing like boss patterns and like dealing damage consistently.
We tried playing co-op.
You too, not me.
Yeah, the DLC.
DLC.
Yeah.
How far did we get? I don't remember.
We only like defeated like one boss. Also, there was like lag.
Oh yeah. Because it was remote play.
Oh, you were doing remote? Oh no.
Yeah.
Steam remote play is like super iffy. I can never get it to like work properly.
I mean, you're also playing Borderlands, right?
Yes, we're doing Borderlands playthrough right now.
I can explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Santos,
Take it away.
Go.
You played the first one.
I played 2 and 3 before.
Okay, so you didn't play the first one.
No.
Okay. I watched the first one and played like 15 minutes of it because it was really boring. And then we both played 2.
I played it again. That's my second play.
Yeah,
I've
and
heard
then
like 2 is like the best one, right?
Best for story, yeah.
yeah,
Generally, yeah.
and then now we're on pre-sequel.
What is the third one after that?
Yeah. So the order we're planning to play through is pre-sequel, then there's a DLC for 2 that sets up 3. Then we'll play 3.
And then all the DLC for 3.
Yeah. We already missed the DLC for 2. But we don't have it.
I've heard like I've played a bit of 3. I have the game. I found it kind of all over the place, honestly. Borderlands as like a game is like it's like very chaotic. There's like a lot in it, but I found the story to be kind of like all over the place.
3's story is the worst part of it. That's what everyone complains about. But the gameplay is good. That's why.
Yeah, the gameplay was pretty fun. It's mainly like shooting, right? It's just like boss fights and stuff, and like killing a lot of enemies. So the gameplay and like the character skills and stuff like that, those are pretty interesting. But the story is.
How far did you get?
I never finished the game, but I think maybe I got like halfway. Yeah, I was playing with a friend, and then like he kind of never got back to me about the game, so we ended up just dropping it.
There's a certain character that everyone hates. I don't know if you've met.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Who is
Bleep it out for those who haven't played.
Okay.
Say the character.
Her name is like, it starts with little like teenage girl.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Everyone hates her basically. Because she's basically like a moody teenager. So that's like
Yeah,
what
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. With how bad the story is already, yeah, I could probably see that.
Well, speaking of story, there is a Borderlands movie coming. I'm not sure if you are
Really?
aware of that.
I don't know.
It's dropping August.
I'm
Soon. It's dropping soon.
Slightly
soon.
worried.
The trailers is out already. Kate Blanchett's playing in it. Kevin Hart. Who else was in it?
I don't know
Jack
their
Black.
names.
Jack Black voices one of the,
Claptrap.
yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
then-
He might be the best part of the movie then.
and then Ariana Greenbelt, the who was in Barbie, she plays does she play that moody teenage girl you were talking about?
No, that's a completely different character.
And who does she play?
Which one is what? I don't know what the
Ariana
actress name-
Greenbelt is the young girl,
the young girl, the Tiny Tina.
who with the bunny ears.
Oh,
Tiny
Tiny.
Tina.
Yeah. I've heard of that character.
She's popular, but she's not the one I'm talking about.
I'm pretty. She got a whole DLC for herself,
Yeah.
or like a whole game or something.
She has,
didn't she?
she has a whole game, literally expansion, her own expansion. Then they made that into like a spin-off game.
I think the game was actually pretty good too. from
Tiny
what I heard,
Tina's
yeah.
Wonderland.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
They made like, I forget what it's called, but it's like a whole like dungeon, like roguelike style.
Oh,
of
okay.
Borderlands, right?
That actually sounds pretty.
Actually,
cool.
don't quote me. I haven't played the game. I don't know exactly what it was.
Sounds pretty cool.
But now that you know that there's a movie coming, are you confident in it?
Honestly, video game movies don't have a really good reputation.
I think Super Mario was one of the few that were
Sup-
able to.
I think
do
the
well from it.
most memorable one was Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I totally forgot about that one until like right now. And the Sonic one.
Which one? 1 or 2?
I didn't know they had a second one. So
Well, there's also a
I guess,
Knuckles
yeah.
one coming, right?
Knuckles TV show,
Yeah, Knuckles
which is
TV
really
show.
bad, and I watched it recently.
Not as bad as Megamind.
I've heard both of the movies were pretty good though for the Sonic one. The first one, it was pretty interesting because there was like a whole story behind how they had to remake the whole movie, but it actually ended up looking.
There was also that whole thing when the trailer came out. The internet was making fun of how they did Sonic.
Yeah,
His
that's
teeth.
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's like
How fast did they fix that? Do you remember?
I think it was like within like a couple of weeks of the backlash on
Was that
Twitter.
planned?
Since the trailer's release, I assume.
Sounds so like planned.
I don't know if it was planned because they had to push back the movie release date by like a year or two to like actually make all of the changes and everything. Because like when they released the trailer, there people made like a comparison video of like the old trailer and the new trailer reactions that people did on YouTube. And the old one was like the moment Sonic came up, everyone was like, "Ugh, what the hell is that?" And then the new one was like, "Oh my god, they did Sonic right. He looks so good." And it like the reactions was like it was hilarious. Like people were just like absolutely disgusted by like the old Sonic. It was like,
What am I looking at?
yeah, it was like horrifying.
And then by the time the movie itself released, did it do well?
Yeah, it did amazing actually.
And they're coming out with a 3rd movie.
With Hayden Christensen voicing the villain, I think.
I don't think it was confirmed.
Really? Oh
It
no.
might have been. Oh, it's
No. Keanu Reeves.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Keanu
yeah.
Reeves. Sorry, yeah, wrong
really?
actor. Yeah.
as Shadow.
He's voice. Yeah.
A shadow. Oh
Sorry,
my
not
god.
Hayden, yeah.
Why does that fit so well?
So you just
Super
pull out a
edgy.
pencil. I'm just gonna.
He's just gonna pull on full John Wick as he's voicing him.
That's totally Shadow though. He's like so edgy.
Yeah. I guess that was good casting on their part. But I feel like Super Mario, the Super Mario movie has been so far in terms of more recent movies, in terms of video games that has actually been successfully interpreted. I think part of it's due to the Peaches song.
I haven't heard anything about the movie, but I know it was pretty well received, right? Like it was actually.
It was one of those movies where the critics hated it, but the audience loves it.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know. Recently, it's kind of hard to listen to critics now.
It's very hard to
especially
listen to
for video
critics.
games too.
Yeah.
There's actually a joke about like how critics play the game and how normal people play the
No,
game.
that's not just for video game movies. Even for the MonsterVerse movies, the most recent Godzilla X Kong movie, critics hated it. The audience loves it. So there's several movies that are like that.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with critics. It's like the same like what I meant by that was like it's like the same with like video game journalists. They for some reason they seem to play the game completely different from how everyone
Yeah,
else
like those
plays the game.
IGN reporters. I'm like,
Yeah.
what game did you play?
People are like, "Oh man, this game is so hard," and then it's like they were stuck on the tutorial.
Oh yeah, that was Cuphead.
That's the one I was thinking of. There was this game journalist who couldn't jump and dash properly. Like they made a comparison video between him and a pigeon doing like a mental like brain test. And like the pigeon had to move a box over to an area, get on top of it, and then grab an item. And the pigeon solved the brain like acuity test or whatever it was faster than the guy could figure out how to jump and dash properly over a wall.
How long was he stuck on that?
Bro, probably had
It
a
was
bad
like
day.
it was a solid like 5 minutes at least. If I remember correctly, the video was like around like 5 minutes long.
So why did they not just cut it out?
I don't know, but like honestly, I feel like we need to see more like game journalists playing the game just to see like, are they actually playing the game, or are they just not good at the game?
Speaking of not good at the game, you want to talk about the time the Dead by Daylight developer got absolutely demolished by a bunch of Koreans? Because that's a hilarious story. I feel.
Yeah, I remember watching that for the first time and like laughing my ass off because Dead by Daylight had like an issue with flashlights in the game when they were first introduced and when modifiers to it were introduced. Because Flashlights were essentially used in the game to like blind the killer and like stun them, right?
If a killer's picked up a survivor, you can flash the killer and they'll drop the survivor.
Yeah, so you can use it to rescue your friends, and then you can also use it to like just straight up like stun them.
And also the Wraith was the killer that was the most sensitive to flashlights.
Yeah. So there was a point in the game where you could almost like instantly flash a killer with a flashlight with like certain upgrades attached
With a
to
flashlight.
it. Yeah, with just a flashlight, and that was in the game for like a very long time, and the devs just never listened to the community and never fixed it. And one day, the developer of the game,
The lead developer, by the way.
the lead developer of the game went to like a Korean like a panel, and they were like asking him questions about the game, and they were like talking about it, right? So it's just like kind of like a meetup with like the game dev kind of thing, and it was like a Korean show, and they were like, oh yeah, would you like to play a game of like Dead by Daylight, just to kind of show and like for fun, just to see like the lead developer playing his own game, right? And so he was like, yeah, sure, why not? He hops into a game and he pub queues against the Korean.
Those random people.
Yeah, so he random queued against like just random people, and we all know the Korean community, very hardcore into games, right? He got absolutely shit stomped for the entire game.
It was so funny.
Do you guys know Dead by Daylight Killers? Do you guys play the game?
We've played it a
Okay,
little.
do you know the nurse? The nurse
It was
killer?
Hag.
Oh, sorry, Hag. Do you know the Hag? The grandma-looking
No,
killer.
I don't remember any.
Okay,
Really.
quick crash course. So her ability is she makes these traps, which are jump scare traps. Survivors can trigger them, and when they're triggered, she can teleport to those traps and pursue the survivor from there. That's her main ability. So there you go. That's the Hag.
Yeah. So the survivors, they were all playing flashlights,
And the developer was the hunter.
and the developer was the killer. Yeah. And he was playing his apparently it was like his favorite killer at the time or something, which was the Hag. And the survivors were just toying with him the entire game.
It was so funny.
He was trying to kill them. He would get a hit, and then they'd flash him. He'd pick up a survivor. They'd flash him. He'd come around a corner. They'd flash him, and it was just, it was so bad, and it got to the point where he didn't kill a single person. They were baiting the hell out of him. Like at some point, they weren't even using like the generators anymore. Like he would place down like the signs to try to like trap survivors, because that was like the Hag's main gimmick, right? And so a survivor would on purposely activate it, bait her over, and then flash him. And he got absolutely shit on for the whole game. It was not fun for him.
You can tell, but he was
Yeah.
trying to put on the like.
Well, he didn't
"Oh,
want to
this is
rage
funny."
in
Yeah,
front of
yeah,
the whole
yeah.
audience, right? But
Yeah.
he was mad. Yeah. And at the end of the game, they were like teabagging him at the entrance, and he was not very happy. And then shortly after that, like that whole thing that happened, the game came out with a nerf to flashlights. Yeah.
They got a patch update. Most notably was flashlights can have a shorter duration, and then everyone's just like, I wonder why.
Also, they removed the recharge upgrades on the on all of the modifiers for the flashlight ones too.
They still have modifiers today, but it's not. They
Got cut in half.
they got cut in
They
half
got nerfed
completely.
into the ground.
But yeah, no, that was funny. I remember seeing that video. I'm just like, I didn't realize it was the lead dev until I looked over at the face cam. Like, oh my god, it's the lead dev.
you were like, yeah, he's such a bad
I was
player.
like, bro, this guy is bad. And I looked, oh my god, it's the dev. But yeah, no, that's the thing with like games like this. Like you can have hilarious moments, and I think with what were we talking about before this? I already forgot.
Good question. What were we
Single
talking
player
about?
game?
Oh yeah, single player games. Yeah, like this is stuff you can't really get in like single player games.
Yeah, I think the thing with single player games is that like the community is more based like externally. So it's like people enjoying the game, and then they'll mod it, or they'll find like other people who enjoy the game, or like sometimes there's like a speedrunning community. Stuff like Resident Evil is like, it has a really big community just purely because people they like the characters a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. A lot. And
A little too much.
Yeah. And with community, well, with like PvP or like PvE games where people will like play with other players and stuff, it's a lot more easier to build a community because the players will like actively interact with each other, right, in the game. And usually PvE games are a lot more chill, with the exception of like usually MMOs. But with like more co-op games, the community is like more chill and like a little more laid back.
I mean, like Warframe.
Oh yeah, I mean Warframe is like probably my best example because the devs are like, sometimes they've done some pretty wonky shit, but like who hasn't? They're pretty constant, like pretty in touch with the community all the time. They have like weekly developer streams, and they have like where they just play the game. Like the game, the devs themselves actually like play the game.
I used to play Warframe a lot. I've seen like clips of people running into the devs just playing.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty cool that that's even a thing that like happens frequently. And like I'm pretty sure like most of the people on the dev team like play the game to like some extent, which I think is like it's a good thing for the devs to like stay in touch with the community and to like actually play their own game,
Yeah,
right?
unlike the lead developer.
Yeah, and like I think with at least with Warframe specifically, the community is like it's very welcoming, and I don't know why. I don't know why the community is so nice, but I'm very glad it is because it's kept the game alive for a very long time.
How's the game now?
There's a lot of stuff in it. The lore has gotten to the point where it's like it's really big now, and it's like it's a good time for like older players to like jump back into the game if they're like interested. There's like a lot of different mechanics, and the game's kind of like it's one of those games where you don't even know how to describe the genre because there's so many different types of gameplay in it.
Like I haven't played since like Plains of Eidolon, is that what it's called?
Oh my god.
Like that long ago. That's when I was like really playing it.
Yeah, so Plains of Eidolon was the first open world area that they added in.
I tried the second one. What do you remember the second one?
Second one was Fortuna.
Fortuna. Okay, I played Fortuna. So
Yeah,
I
that was like
around
the
for
tech
that.
area.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's around when I quit Fortuna. And then the third one,
Deimos.
Deimos. I think I tried it once, but I didn't really.
Yeah.
It was like the weird red.
Yes, so Deimos is like the infested planet. So I think they plan on having an open world area for every faction in the game. And with where they're currently at right now, they have 3. So they have all of like the main 3 factions, and I think they're planning on adding a 4th one soon. And the game has gone to the point where they have like spaceship fighting.
Don't they? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, railgun, right?
Railjack is what it's called. Yeah. So they have like spaceship fighting. They have a freaking like Dark Souls like It's like a roguelike, Souls like game mode. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's like a completely different playstyle from the regular game.
It sounds like it went from a pretty grounded game to now it's just madness.
That's the thing though, right? Like you still play the grounded game as well. Like the grounded game is still the core of it, but there's so many different systems attached onto it now, but they all come together and like still actually make sense in the story and the lore that they're making, which is kind of nuts. And there's also like just so many more, like there's so much end game content now for the game, and I think the main thing they need to work on is probably like still the new player experience, but they've also touched up on that now. There's like well, not recently, but like there's a new cinematic intro for the game which looks fucking amazing, and the new tutorial at the very beginning at least leads you through more of the game now than just like
pick up
dropping
gun,
you there.
shoot.
Yeah,
Stuff,
they just like pick up gun, shoot. Okay, good luck. The game is still like mainly like that, but it guides you through a bit more now. And I think they're still planning on working on the new player experience, which is like I feel like that's an important thing in order for a game to survive. You need like new players constantly coming in.
So do you think he should go back, revisit the game?
Yeah, I feel like if you enjoyed playing Warframe and like that kind of gameplay loop is like something that you enjoy, you can always go back to it. Like the good thing about Warframe is like it's one of those games where you can like hop in and out, and you don't get punished for it.
I mean, I have like 2K hours plus hours on it, so
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
I better have enjoyed it, or I wasted 2K hours for nothing.
I just hit I think like 1 point. Actually, wait. I can check right now. Yeah, I should check.
Get the VAR.
But
I've had a friend who's been literally been pushing me to like try out the game. He's like, it's so fun, it's so chill. You need to try it.
Yeah, you can definitely take the game at your own pace, and there's like so many people around you that play the game. Me and your friend, and I mean he also has some experience with it. So, like, I definitely say to give it a shot if you don't mind games like these. It's like I guess the best way to describe it is like a looter shooter. Yeah, it's like kind of like a cross between like a horde shooter as well. So it's because you got like a lot of enemies running at you, but it's
kind of like a zombie apocalypse, like kind of.
in terms of the horde shooting aspect, yes.
Yeah.
Specifically, just that part of the game. Yeah.
It's a little bit reminiscent of Helldivers, like a little.
Yeah, a little bit. Except instead of a fragile piece of paper that you're playing as, you are like a unkillable killing machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
The friendly fire is immense on Helldivers.
Is Inara still good?
They actually reworked Inaros recently.
So he doesn't no longer has 4,000 health.
He actually has 10,000 now.
10,000? Okay.
Yes. So the thing with Inaros was when you got to enemies that were like when you're doing endurance runs and you got to a point where the enemies were starting to deal a massive amount of damage, Inaros didn't have a way to survive.
Because he's just tanky, but not like...
So what he is, he's a health tank, right? But the thing is, he doesn't have any invincibility. So once you got to a certain point, he'd just get one-shot by everything. So they've reworked him a bit now, so he's like slightly better to play. He still is a health tank, but he's more fun to play now instead of just being like I can sit here and not die, but only up to a certain point.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah. Another thing kind of curious about, what is the most expensive... Rivens are still in the game, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
What's the most expensive Riven, like, generally?
The Riven market always changes because meta weapons come in and out, but I've seen Rivens being sold for 25,000.
25,000, yeah. When I was back in, like, Plains of Eidolon days, I think Vectus Rivens, if you had a really good world one, it was like 500k.
Yeah, so 500k is around where you'd be the prices for like meta weapons, especially if they're good for like multiple things. I think Rubico, which
sniper.
is the other sniper, is also probably around the same as the Vectus as well. It's just the Vectus is more exclusive, I guess you could say, because it requires a specific mod for it to work. So most people run like Rubico.
Oh yeah, I think Vectus was it like a because it was used for Eidolon hunting. It was like best in slot for like Chroma or something.
So that's kind of changed now because there's like a bunch of stuff added into the game. So the meta has shifted, and it's shifted again because they nerfed one of the most used abilities for all of the boss fights. And right now, I mean, Vectus and Rubico are still good. They're still top of the line. It's just Rubico is usually used more because it's more accessible. Because you don't need a 500 plat mod, and then the Vectus, which also hasn't been unvaulted for like forever.
So, how much is 500k plat real world money?
So if you were to look at the base cost of plat without any other modifications at all in the game, 500k is like just shy of like around 200 or 250 Canadian.
250. Wait, what?
$250 CAD. Yeah, the most expensive plat bundle that you can buy right now on Warframe, like on their market, is I think like 4,900 plat, and that's for like $250 or.
I was saying 500k, 500,000.
Oh, 500,000.
Yeah.
500,000 is damn. Wait, let me pull out the calculator.
That's a lot of money.
So yeah, this is how much it would cost to get you that top tier Vectis mod. And
Oh, you were saying it was 500k.
yeah,
Okay.
was it? I swear it was.
I don't think the market goes that high anymore. Yeah, I mean, there's people who put it up for like 10,000, but like no one buys those. Like, there's like 20k Rivens on the market, but like they don't move.
Let's see, like 20k Riven. How much would that cost?
20k Riven would be, let's see, 20k divided by like $1,000.
$1,000 for one weapon, kind of.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? The good thing about Warframe is that this premium currency, you can grind that much without paying a single dollar. That's the good thing about it, is that the premium currency is not limited to only your wallet.
Yeah, you can grind it, although
yeah.
the credit tax kind of hurts.
It doesn't.
Wait, there's
it doesn't
credit
say.
tax?
So yeah, every plat you get from someone else, you have to pay like 50 or like 100 credits.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
No, it's not bad, but it's
you grind like index.
it's a little
like,
awkward just to
That's the
input
thing,
tax
there's-
in there.
Yeah, they call it like trading tax, but really it's just like if you trade a mod or if you trade like an item, there's like a certain credit value associated with that item that you have to pay when you're receiving that item. So if I'm being sent like 3 fish, I need to pay like 300 credits. And then I'll send them back like 1 mod, and then they have to pay like 10 credits. It's not, the credits don't go to us, it just vanishes, it goes to the
to
game.
the government.
The
government.
governments.
Yeah, so the thing with credits is that like there's like a meta way to farm it now, so you can make like 500k credits in like 2 minutes.
Is
So-
it index still or is it?
No,
Capitalism, everybody.
capitalism. So the main way for endgame players to farm now is either AFK index or profit taker, which is a boss fight on Fortuna.
I don't think I've done that before.
Yeah, that requires you to reach max standing with that faction in order to do the fight. But that is the meta most end game way to make credits. But like usually you'll be at that point or have the ability to invest into those long before you really start looking at Rivens, because Rivens is like, it's not required for you to play the game. Like they're an extra mod that you can put on a weapon to make the weapon more powerful, but it's not required for the weapon to still be good. That's one of the good things about Warframe, is that unless you're trying to push for like going as long as possible or trying to complete something as fast as possible, you can make almost every weapon in the game work in some way. Some you might have to put a little more effort into than others, but pretty much everything is kind of viable for like the base game stuff, which is really nice.
I just like ribbons because I like maxing stuff out.
Let's be honest, you like gambling, right? You like gambling.
Kind of.
We're about to learn something new today.
Well, what was it? Do you remember Skoliak?
Skull, that's the whip, right?
Yeah, so Infested
Yes.
Whip. That was my most valued ribbon I had at a time. It was before the nerf.
Yeah, the weapons,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's abysmal now.
Dead.
not
So
used
basically,
anymore.
I bought it for like about 900 plat unrolled, and then I was rolling it. I did get a good roll on it. It was like, well, it was pretty good. I sold it for like 6k. So
Yeah, Rivens is probably the most volatile market that you can go into, that you can like flip a lot of plat, but you need to have good luck.
yeah. Oh, I saw someone. My best flip was like I saw someone selling a ribbon for 200. I bought it. It was like already rolled well, and then I flipped it for like 2k. So someone was just undervaluing their.
So market flipping is a thing that like people sometimes do. If you like economics, or if you like studying the market and things like that, there's like a website that you can go onto to trade with other players.
Warframe market.
Warframe.market.
Warframe economy.
Yes.
Exactly. And there are people in the game who genuinely enjoy that side of the game, and they will just sit there and
So
play
it's like
the market.
cryptocurrency then. They just look at it and like,
Yeah, kind of. Except it's not your actual money unless you put money.
Unless
into
you're
the
trying to
account, yeah.
sell, unless you like bought or sell the account, but that's against TOS.
Yeah, we don't talk about
Yeah,
that. That's- yeah.
pretend that didn't
we're
happen.
not getting canceled here today, boys.
Yeah, the market is like it's pretty stable. It's just the Riven market is kind of all over the place, because that's kind of up to your like the community evaluation of what your Riven
What
is
it's
worth.
worth,
Yeah.
yeah. So
But
if someone goes like makes a video and like, oh, this weapon's OP, and then the ribbons for that, just like
Yeah, so there's actually a great example of this because there was this new game mode that was released, and what they did was essentially they added new add-ons to weapons that were not used in the game, some of like the very early weapons in the game, and that made it so that those guns that were not good or like very mid before were now the meta weapons, and that made the ribbons price just down here. It like more than tripled. It made like most trash ribbons for like weapons that nobody uses will stay on the market for like maybe 5 plat, 10 plat. Those weapons now at base for like a unrolled, just newly opened ribbon is like 50 minimum, maybe like 100. If it's like a really good weapon, it can start at base for like 150 to 200. It's pretty ridiculous. Riven market is
Crazy thing how there's a whole like economy just built around that in a video game.
yeah, player trading is probably one of the biggest things in Warframe. And the good part about that is that you can also make the premium currency from that trading. So it essentially allows players who are like newer to the game or don't want to spend money on the game to make the premium currency without having to invest too much into the game itself. And another good thing about the game is that whenever you log in, there's like a daily login that you can like accrue, and you can get discounts on plat from that daily login, which is why no one ever actually buys the plat for like $250.
Yeah, they buy for 50 or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, they have different tiers of discounts. They have like a 20%, a 50%, and like a 75% discount, and it brings the biggest package down from like $200. With the 75% discount, it's $50.
Okay, so it's kind of like a supermarket putting out discounts.
Exactly.
Weekly,
yeah.
like not
Except
TNT,
it's
Safeway.
not weekly. You just
Yeah.
kind of get it when you randomly get it when it comes in your daily logins.
Well, I don't know how common they are. I forgot, but
I think there's like a probability for it on like the wiki. I don't remember, but apparently there's a rumor where if you haven't played for a long time and you log back in, they'll give you a discount.
of course.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's fair, right? It makes sense, but I don't know if that's actually true. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten a couple of discounts just by like playing the game and like logging in, and you don't have to buy the most expensive one, right? Like if you get a 50% discount, you could pay like the $10 one if you wanted to. Also, you don't have to use it. You can just like sit on it and just let it expire too.
I've used a couple before.
I've used a lot.
How much plat do you have? Kind of curious.
Currently, I think I have around 10,000.
10,000, not
Yeah.
bad. I had 22,000 when I quit.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I was trading a lot.
Yeah, I don't trade a lot, so I don't like play the market a lot. I don't really like playing the market a lot, just like flipping and things. But I do, since I've been playing the game for a long time, I do have like items and stuff that I sit on that I'll sometimes like sell, or like I have a bunch of random crap that I could sell if I needed plat, but I don't.
Too lazy.
I'm lazy. Also, I don't have a need for it because I don't have anything that I need to really buy right now. But like a lot of the stuff in the game, you can just play the game and get it. So it's like
It's too bad you can't withdraw the credits and get real money out of it.
You can, but
I mean you can, but like that's like technically against TOS.
That-
Like our
yeah,
RMT is
that's it.
usually against. Yeah. Would be pretty nice.
It would be actually kind of a passive income in a way.
Yeah, I mean, like you could totally make like passive income doing stuff like that. People do that in like in WoW, like usually it's MMOs, but like Final Fantasy 14.
Really?
Yeah, World of
World of Warcraft really does that.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to like the Warframe.market, where it's like a website where people will like put up an item, you pay them real
Facebook
money.
Marketplace.
I mean, you could like put up the item for sale, and then people will look at it, and then they'll pay you real money, and then you trade them the item in game.
Ah, I see.
I read an article or video. They're like prisoners playing WoW to make money, or something, because it was like better use of their time than just sitting around, or something like that.
And I guess psychologically, it's also better for them in a way.
It was literally just a gold farm out of a prison or
Just a
something.
gold stonks, everybody.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that, but that's totally sounds like it could happen. Yeah, I totally see that happening.
I feel like this is maybe like in the European prisons, because have you seen like the Norwegian jails? They actually look pretty nice. So I feel like countries like those will probably be able to do stuff like that.
I feel like it was China, but I cannot.
Of course, it was China. Shock.
I don't remember, but I feel like it might have.
Make your prisoners like farm freaking video game currency for you.
That's actually kind of a smart idea in a way.
Ryan's on his way to make his own prison.
Ryan's gonna open a prison.
I think a light bulb just went off in my head. I'm kidding.
Gotta invest, gotta invest.
Don't investigate me, FBI. Don't investigate me. I'm fine. I'm fine. I am not. This was a joke. It will remain a joke. Anyways, but one more thing before we're nearing. I think we're nearing the end of the episode. But before we wrap it up for good, I do want to briefly talk about the world of TCG.
Trading card games.
Yeah, that's right. So we're at a point where you can kind of merge TCGs with the physical cards, and then you have like the digital side of things. I want to talk about his YouTube channel briefly.
Of course. I didn't even bring it up. You brought it up.
I know. I was waiting for
What
that.
a good host.
I'm a good host. I look out for you guys. So recently, you've been doing more Shadowverse gaming videos rather than your physical card unboxing.
I've been doing a bit of both, but have you heard of Shadowverse at all?
Because just the other day, you
Yeah.
were
So
learn about the One
yeah,
Piece.
I learned about it. Like I've heard of the name, but I don't know anything about it. I'm not too big into TCGs. Like my biggest exposure to them was like probably back in middle school when I was like playing Pokemon and like Yu-Gi-Oh. Those are like my main ones.
Those are very popular. I still don't know how to play them.
Yu-Gi-Oh is
Actually, I have
not too hard to learn,
Yeah.
but you need the cards. Yeah.
I've played the digital version of both a little bit. Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely like power. I heard a lot of people saying like power creep. So if you've played in like I don't know when it first came out and you come in now, you're like, what just happened?
Oh yeah, you're fucked. If you only use the cards from like back then, you're screwed.
Yeah. So yeah, Pokemon don't know too much. I know like the very basic rules. That's about it.
Yeah, same here. I know like how to play the games like pretty basically, but like I've never gotten invested in them, so I don't know too much about them.
I recently just learned a little bit of the One Piece TCG and how to actually play it. Turns out they have a lot of tournaments that are actually like, in a way, almost competitive, like esports. If you actually join an official team, there's like you can travel to like different places and you can get money out of it. So from what I've learned I just learned the basic. I use a pretty simple like starter deck. It's something that is, I feel like compared to Shadowverse, you can't do One Piece TCG as a game. I feel like I don't know how you
could-
differentiate Shadowverse
So-
to the cards and the actual game, but I feel like it's really hard for the One Piece side because there's a lot of different components per card. The leaders already have a lot of shit that you need to keep in mind.
Okay. Well, first of all, there is an online version of it.
Yeah, I know there is, but I feel like it's hard to like compared to like Shadowverse. The online one isn't really talked about much.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, first of all, online version of One Piece is this exact same game of the physical. Shadowverse has the physical and the digital, which are both different games, so they work differently.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was trying to get to that.
The digital Shadowverse came out first in like 2016, around there, so it's quite old. There's the new game coming out in like a month, which is like basically like it's a sequel kind of, but it's like a hard reset of the game because the power creep's been kind of like out of control. So they're resetting.
Kind of. I think that's an issue with like all TCGs though.
Yeah. So they're kind of basically releasing a sequel of it, which is pretty exciting. And they also have the physical, which is separate. So that they're based on like the same lore and world, basically, but the cards operate differently. That makes sense. I don't have
Yeah.
the cards here to
Do they have like
explain it.
different effects and stuff, or like they do different things?
The
or-
effects are similar, but the game is, they turned all the effects, because the digital game you can do stuff like RNG, right? So let's say I want to play this card that deals 5 damage to a random character or something.
Yeah.
You can't do it in physical because you're like, how do you determine random besides like a
Yeah,
dice
it'd be kind of weird if you had to like flip a coin or roll
Yeah.
a die every time.
It's
yeah.
hard. So a lot of the physical stuff is, what do you call it? You can just pick the target most of the time. It's not random. And also you can do stuff you can interact during your opponent's turn, which is not you can't do that in digital. So if your opponent's playing something, you can just play cards. Basically, when they attack you or at the end of their turn, you can play cards and just interrupt them.
I feel like that's doable on digital, but it would yeah, I mean Yu-Gi-Oh has that kind of system with like trap cards and stuff, right? Because like usually what it would be is like if you had a card that can take effect during your opponent's turn, then the game would pause and be like, "Hey, do you want to play this card?"
But you can't physically play cards. They already has to be on the field.
Yeah, well that's specifically with Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Because you have to like prepare the card ahead of time. But like with other TCGs, you could probably say like, do you want to interrupt or like have you guys ever played like Uno online?
Uno?
Not online, but I played Uno.
Okay, yeah, well they have this thing where you can like jump in with a card if you have like the same card. So like you have to like hold a button for it. So like usually if they're doing in the middle of doing something and then you can jump in, there's like a prompt that you can hit if you want to jump in with the card.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
It's
Magic.
a little, online Uno is a little weird.
You heard of Magic, right?
Magic the Gathering?
Figure, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have an online one. You can interrupt a lot, so the game kind of goes back and forth.
Counterspell.
Yeah.
The D&D.
No, that's not fun.
But yeah, I don't know, I just want to see like what was your little insight on it, just at the whole idea of you can make gaming videos out of TCGs essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you can make videos out of like any kind of niche or any kind of hobby or interest that you have, right? Like that's kind of the beauty of like the internet now is like you can make anything out of anything really. As long as you put your mind to it, you could probably do something pretty crazy. There have been people who have done some pretty crazy stuff. Nuclear reactors in their backyards and stuff. Like they're
I feel like
that.
you're pointing out a specific streamer here.
Maybe, I don't know, but like that's just like a pretty reoccurring trend of people like making stupid shit in their backyard. Like
One who barks a lot.
So how do we get to nuclear reactors from card?
I don't know.
well, yeah, but I mean, like you can make a niche out of kind of anything, and it's kind of up to you what you want to do with it. And I think TCG is like, because it's been around for so long, right? Like card games is like a thing that dates back before the internet, before most like card games has been around for a long time, and TCG is like the fact that you can now play online or anywhere. So like you don't have to, like if you don't want to, you don't need to spend like a lot of money to play the deck that you want to play because you need to get like specific cards, right? So like if you want to, you can collect cards and play physically, or you can also try out different builds or different decks online as well and not have to potentially spend money to like try to get a whole collection so you can try different things as well.
Is that what you've been doing?
Like I said, my game for Shadowverse they're different. So
yeah, for Shadowverse it
that
wouldn't work
doesn't
because they're
work.
different.
But
I guess, yeah.
For the One Piece simulator, which is it's not official by the way, that works, right? Because it's the same game.
Yeah. It's things like with like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and like I guess the One Piece one as well. You can do like because they have all the cards available, right? So then you can make up like all kinds of different decks. You can try different builds, and you don't have to worry about not having access to the card because of like limited cards or like.
For physical games, you can use proxies. That's the alternative.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, so you can, if you really want to be cheap, just print out the cards, cut them out, and like, I don't know.
I guess, is that allowed?
Not in tournaments, but for fun.
Oh, for
against,
fun,
like,
yeah.
friends.
So for fun, yeah. But I'm saying like in terms of like a more competitive standard, like because I know some of those online TCGs have like a ranked mode as well, and with physical tournaments it's a little different. You'll have to have the cards, but at the very least, if you have the TCG online, then you can kind of like figure out, oh, this is the deck I want to go for, and then whenever you have money, you can kind of try to get the cards that you want.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I was.
Or you can just buy them on the market. Too.
That's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's your insight on TCG. So scrap to Laser Saber. All right. I just thought of this. I mean, we all play a different vast amount of games. I feel like our tastes are also very different. So I'm gonna ask you now. Is there any games that you want to recommend him to play? And I don't know, name your top 3, I guess. I don't know. And like try to sell to him basically. It's a Shark Tank pitch.
No. What? Are you like only a PC gamer?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have access to console, which is why I was really sad about Stellar Blade, because it's a PS5 exclusive, so I couldn't play the game, sadly.
Have you played Halo before?
I have. I played. I have the MCC collection, it's the MCC, not yeah. But I played Halo Reach, and
Same.
Yeah, that one was really fun. I like the story a lot. It's really nice. I haven't played the other ones as much. I heard Infinite was okay.
Yeah.
But
Craig.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm more of like a console person, so.
Yeah, it kind of sucks with consoles because there's like so many console exclusive games that like, and like PC exclusive games that like people they just never have access to, which is like really sad. I was like really glad that the Horizon series came to PC for that reason, but like they do ports like that like very very rarely.
Have you played like Spider-Man?
Ooh,
I have not played the Spider-Man
That's a good
game.
one. That's a good one.
Is that the
Cause that's on Steam, so.
Yeah, what was it called?
Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man was Peter, and then Spider-Man 2 was Peter and Miles Morales.
There was a Miles game though that's in between.
Yeah, like a kind of like a DLC.
Isn't it? It's a standalone game.
Well, yeah, but
Maybe I'll check that out.
There you go. That's your game. The 3 Spider-Mans. Ironic. Well, I think that was a pretty loaded episode. I think we have some pretty good clippable moments. I think my editor's gonna be quite happy about that. I think just to not put our previous guests on the spot, but like there hasn't been a lot of clippable moments from the previous episodes. Like now, I'm thinking there's several points where like, oh yeah, this works as like a little clip of his own. But that's just me in the editing room thinking right now.
Yeah,
so,
we love controversial stuff here, right?
Of course,
yeah,
we do.
definitely.
Of course we do. So before we wrap this episode, is there anything you want to promote? This is your time to plug anything. Shameless plugging. What
not
do you want
really.
the audience to find you on?
My YouTube, my Twitch. I don't know. This kind of feels like I'm like selling myself out.
That's
It doesn't
exactly
feel
what
right,
you're
yeah.
doing.
Come check me out if you're interested in like Warframe, Eternal Return. I used to play Genshin, so I know a bit about that game as well. And Horizon Forbidden West. I'm in the middle of a playthrough of that game as well. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, come check me out. I also have a Discord server as well, which is also linked to my Twitch and everything. So you can always find me there. I'm pretty
Description, all in description.
That'll work too.
Yes.
A lot easier.
You can just open the description. You'll find all his links. There you go.
So yeah, you can always find me in my server. I'm always chilling. Come by, say hi if you want to. That's about it.
And there you go. That is Gordon, aka Gordyla10. I'm sorry, like it's kind of cringy saying that now, saying your gamer tag. Back then it sounded cool, but now it's just like, what am I saying? I sound like a 5-year-old. But he has a legacy throughout my channel, so he is not a new face. So also watch some of our old stuff if you want to remember what he's like. We have some pretty good content from back in the. Actually, I don't know about. There's some questionable.
There's content.
There's content.
There's content.
There's content there. So yeah, that's also you are going back to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I will be going back to Hong Kong in June. I'm thinking probably
Permanently.
Debatable. I'm gonna be working, and I'll probably see how that goes.
So I guess
I'm thinking
yeah.
probably at least 2 years minimum.
Okay.
2-3 years, and I'll see how I like it there, and then maybe if I don't, I'll like come back and like go to university or like try it.
So maybe we'll see him again.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see him again on.
You can always find me on Discord, you know.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, no. This actually, like, not to make this sound emotional. This might be the last time we'll be like speaking like this.
Probably face to face.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah. Good luck to all your endeavors up ahead. Whatever decisions you make, just know there's people here.
yeah, and
Just-
good luck to you
yeah.
and your YouTube channel. You guys seem to have like a pretty nice thing going on. So
Of course. Yeah. Well, we'll see what the future holds ahead of you. So, hopefully everything will work out well in Hong Kong. I haven't been there since 2014, so I don't know what's like there.
It's changed a little
I do
bit.
want to revisit that city someday. We'll see. Maybe if
Yeah,
you decide
come
to stay
by,
there, I'll
yeah.
come by. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. But
I've heard a lot of good thing about like the food mainly. So
that was the place where I tried curry fish balls for the first time.
oh really?
And then since then, I came back. I'm like, new thing on the menu. I'm eating this from now on. But yeah, so that is this episode. Thanks so much for listening and watching. If you're on Spotify, give us. I noticed people are actually rating our show on Spotify. So if you haven't done so yet, please do that. And if you're feeling generous, I would love to take a 5-star review. But if you're on YouTube, like I would assume the majority of you are, hit that like button, subscribe, and check out some of our previous episodes if you haven't already. We have some episodes that we're trying to rush out that we filmed in December that are still not out yet. So we're rushing those out first before we have this episode. So by the time you're watching this, it'll probably be out. We'll see. Well, my editor is definitely underpaid, but that's a story for another time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.